Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today is a special message, like I know I say every single day, but it is coming to you on this beautiful Sunday or Monday, wherever you are in the world. And ultimately it is all about the fact that whenever you opt for the path of least resistance in your external world, you automatically place yourself on the path of most resistance in your internal world. And I really want this one to sink in and resonate for you guys. It's one that I have been working on all day within myself, and something that, with the work that I'm working through and my personal growth journey, this is the thing that I am most focused on right now. And it's why I always talk into authenticity. It's why I always talk into tapping into your internal wisdom. And ultimately getting to a place of true freedom. And that's what today's message is all about. Because like I just said, whenever we go and we opt for the path of least resistance in our external world, we go with the thing that, we think other people will approve of, they won't get upset about, it'll be easier, it'll be more comfortable, whatever it is. Whenever we opt to go for that least resistant path in the external world, whenever it's at the expense of our truth, then we're opting to go on this really uncomfortable path in our internal world. So the choice is yours, but most of us get trapped in this frame of thinking that is, if I just, go the path of least resistance to all the people around me, it'll be easier, it'll be more comfortable. And ultimately what we don't recognize is that when we try and chase freedom in the external world by going on that path of least resistance, we ultimately trap ourselves in such misery and suffering, because anytime we're in operation which is out of alignment with the truth of what we know and who we are, then ultimately we create this really painful experience in our internal world. And it doesn't matter how good it looks on the external, it doesn't matter how successful we are in the external, or how many people we're keeping happy in our external world. Ultimately, we are living a painful life, a painful experience that it's filled with suffering. And whether or not we acknowledge it to ourselves or not is, that is the difference between whether we get off that path and we start acknowledging our truth and start aligning with our truth, or we stay on the path of least resistance in the external world and ultimately we're never happy, we're always thrown, we're always triggered emotionally, and we just feel like we can't even be satisfied with our external world, no matter how successful we are in that arena, no matter, whatever's going on, no matter how successful we are in the career that we have, in our finances, in having a relationship or a great partner, or whatever it is. Ultimately, it's never going to fulfill you if it is out of alignment with the truth of who you are, because you've been trying to fast track your success. You've been trying to fast track and avoid anything that's uncomfortable. And you think you can get that in the external world. But what I'm really finding is whenever we try and seek our freedom in the external world, at the expense of our internal world, there is no such thing as freedom. And I know personally that when I'm getting so much more conscious of my sabotaging behaviors. So whenever I see myself seeking freedom in an unhealthy way in my external world, so for me, that might be, I'm going to seek some external freedom, like instant gratification in, say, food, or going to a movie, or distracting myself with this thing over here, or, taking myself away from the voice that's saying, hey, you're not living in your values. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to your internal wisdom. You're doing things you think other people want you to do rather than operate from the truth of who you know yourself to be. And ultimately, I'm getting clearer and clearer in my life and picking myself up from that getting trapped in that pattern of sabotage. And, you know, I'm getting quicker and quicker at putting a stop to the things that aren't in alignment with my truth. And that's the journey that I'm on. And every single day, I feel like I'm growing in this area. I'm alerted to how important it is to be honest, to be truthful, to be authentic, because ultimately I really do believe that we all want to experience freedom. Freedom is everything. If you don't have your freedom, you've got nothing. And what I'm really tapping into is there is almost nothing real about freedom in the external world when it comes at the expense of your truth. So real freedom can only really be generated when you listen to your internal wisdom and you align fully with that. And it's got to be the place where you make your all of your decisions, not most of your decisions, all of your most authentic decisions should always be tapping into that truth of who you really are, no matter what repercussions will come to you in that external environment, no matter whether people will disown you, not approve of you, reject you. I don't care, you know. The sooner we break free of that torment of putting all of our power in those external sources around us, which we can't control, and we just, you know, we're at the whim of the external, you know, the sooner we break free of that, the sooner we actually tap into an internal strength and power, because it's no longer dissipating into all these multiple different areas, and it's actually coming from the truth of who you are. And you start having absolute self-respect. And there is nothing more powerful than, you know, operating in a realm of true self-respect, because, you know, your spirit respects you, your soul respects you, your internal wisdom and higher self respects who you are, because you have absolute integrity with your word to yourself. You know, you are never selling yourself out based on that next thing or that next person who comes into your existence to try to test you. Hey, will you sell this part of your soul? Will you sell this part of yourself just to get something in the external world? Because every time you do that, you beat down on your self-respect, you beat down on your trust within yourself, your value of yourself, and you limit your empowerment and ultimately your potential. So I am absolutely hoping that today's message is resonating with you today. I want to repeat the message again for you because I know it's something that I think we all need to allow to sink in. It's something I feel we can all meditate on, like I've done all day today, really getting clarity over this, which is ultimately that whenever you opt for the path of least resistance in your external world, you know, you're not going to ruffle any feathers in the external world, you think it's going to be the comfortable thing to do, you know, you're resisting change, then ultimately you place yourself on the path of most resistance in your internal world. And sometimes when we choose, oftentimes I should say, when we choose our internal truth and we go on the path of least resistance to our internal world, we are going to be faced with a lot of resistance at times in our external world. But I am telling you right now, you have never tapped into the power that is available to you until you actually listen to your internal world and you fully align with it, despite the challenges in the external. When you step forth with courage and you follow your intuition, you follow your truth, then you generate and have access to all of the power that is available to each and every one of us internally. And therefore, whatever repercussions we're faced with in the external, although they may not be pleasant, we have the strength and the power to operate fully from that place of alignment with strength, no matter what we get faced with in the external world. And you start to generate such inner trust within yourself, such inner respect and value that you take you with wherever you go, and it doesn't matter where you are or what you're faced with, you know you can handle it. And there is no better place of empowerment than that. So I'm hoping that this is resonating with each and every one of you guys out there. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or feedback. I'd absolutely love to engage with you right here, right now. And so definitely do that. And before I jump into check out who's been able to join me today, I definitely want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, to come on over and join our amazing community, the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community, where we are an extraordinary group of people who are looking to get to that next level of our potentials, and we want to help, support, and encourage and challenge each other to do just that. So I'd love to have you a part of that. So click on the link above this video and request to join, and I will accept you into that amazing group once I get off here. And let me check in with you guys. So I've got Anita and David and Jeremy and Nino and Mohammed and Kelly and Vince and Linda and Hilton and Jason and Craig and Angela and Ramon and Craig. Oh, thank you so much for your kind words there. You are so appreciated as always. And Jen's here. I love it. And Carl and Justin and Ravi and Gamal. We're occurred by many things that weaken our freedom. Yeah, so we have full control over our freedom, and a great example of this that I always love to refer back to and remind myself of is Nelson Mandela being trapped in prison, in a physical prison for 27 years of his life. But nobody could take away his true freedom, which is always internal. When you align with the truth of who you are, it doesn't matter what's going on in the external, you will always be free when you're in alignment with that truth. So I love that, Gamal. Thanks for sharing. And Kelly, would you say internal wisdom is the same as gut feeling? Yeah, that's a really, really great question. I believe that gut feeling is an alert from the physical body that is reminding us of that internal wisdom. So oftentimes when we get attuned to the body's intelligence, we'll learn to tap into that gut feeling. Some people feel the gut feeling and then they're like, it's an alert to check in. What's my internal truth here? They're getting that feeling and then they think about it. For other people, you know, they're more attuned to tapping into their internal wisdom, and they're not as attuned to the body's intelligence, and so they might have to, you know, sort of get that internal wisdom and then kind of feel that that's in conjunction with a gut feeling. But yeah, I would say that those things, you know, our innate intelligence, our internal intelligence is oftentimes connected to the body's intelligence. It just so happens, what comes more naturally for you to tap into first? What comes to you first? Do you feel it, or do you just tap into it through questioning? Are you at that level where you are constantly, you know, hearing that internal voice and you're tuning right into it? So I hope that was helpful, Kelly. I think that they're both in conjunction with one another. That's that body-mind connection. So I love your question, and thanks for being here. And Peter's here, and Alania, and Brittany, and absolutely Richard. Freedom is everything. And Jen, you're so welcome. Grateful you found this valuable. And Kelly, can you say hi to Oliver, my 3-year-old not yet in bed? Hello, Oliver. What are you doing not in bed? Of course, you're listening into this message today with Kelly. I love it, Kelly. And Michael, thanks for your kind words there. And Neil and Mercedes and Firaz and Ray and Mitchell and Cindy. Awesome, guys. And Ramon, the feeling of freedom is the most rewarding thing. You feel it when you do the right thing. Absolutely, Ramon. And, you know, for me personally, I'm having an amazing day today because I feel so internally free, because Sundays are the day I totally just give this whole day to myself. And I don't have any bookings, I don't have any calls, I don't have any coaching sessions, I don't have any expectations on myself whatsoever, and I get to just do whatever the hell I want to do, and definitely tap into my personal development. And I feel so free whenever I'm tapping into my internal wisdom and learning something new or having a deeper insight about who I am. And that's scary for a lot of people, because the more attuned we get to the truth, the more kind of limited we are at lying to ourselves and not having to make any changes. So to me, the more attuned I can be to what's true to me, the more free I feel. No matter if it limits my ability to lie to myself or, you know, stay trapped in, you know, what's comfortable, I don't care anymore. I've gotten to a place where absolute freedom comes from my tapping into a new level of my truth. So I'm wishing that for each and every one of you guys out there as well. That is freedom. So appreciate your words there, Ramon and Chase and Richard, massive hugs to you, and Jacob. When you let your fear be your teacher and letting the fear alone, I love it to put spotlight on all that needs healing. Then I think you can better relax because you know that it will develop you. Do you agree, Vanessa? Yeah, Jacob. So you guys, if you've been following along with my messages, you absolutely know by now, I hope, that I value fear so immensely, and I encourage you to do the same. When we run away from our fears and avoid our fears and not want to put any energy toward our fears, ultimately we are missing such gold, because I really do believe that our fears, they shine a spotlight on what matters most to us as an individual and where our major growth is to be had. So the more we can face our fears and follow our fears, the more insights we get about the truth of who we are, and then the more opportunity we have to fully align with that truth courageously. So I definitely agree with what you're saying there, Jacob, and I so appreciate you sharing your words of wisdom here. And Bren and Abina and Stephanie and Andrew and Rich, I like to say it this way: if you're easy on yourself, the world is very tough on you. However, if you are tough on yourself, the world is yours. Yeah, and I mean, that could be interpreted so many ways. It could be interpreted in a disempowering way, like when we are often our own worst enemy and we beat ourselves up to the point where we can't see our true power and worth. But I think I get what you're saying there, Rich, which is ultimately a really empowering stance to have, to not just let yourself get away with not following your truth and not aligning with your values because it's too tough, and ultimately to be tough on yourself to align with what matters most to you and have integrity with yourself. And that is so super true, that everything in the external falls into place when you align fully and have absolute integrity with the truth of who you are. So I love what you're saying there, Rich. Thanks so much for being here. And Keith, what if love is the one thing holding someone back from moving forward? You know what, Keith? I would absolutely say that love never, ever, ever holds us back in our lives. If every single thing we can equate under two umbrellas, one of the umbrella of love, the other of fear, love is always empowering no matter what. It never holds you back. It never, ever would ask you to sell yourself short, to sell yourself out from the truth of who you are and your own empowerment and realizing your highest potential. And ultimately, it is only fear that ever holds us back from stepping forth with courage, from stepping forth into a new level of our empowerment. Love will never ever do that. Love is always encouraging you to align fully with your truth and have the courage to choose love over fear by moving in the direction of your highest potential and your empowerment. So I hope that resonated with you, Keith, and I absolutely appreciate your question. Let me know if I can clear anything up. And I've got Nathan and Rich. Awesome. I love that you've just joined the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community. Can't wait to go deeper with you. And you're so welcome, Kelly and Brittany. I love it. I do whatever the hell I want to do. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Why can't we do whatever we want to do, you know? And I think that is freedom. You know, freedom is that ability to give yourself permission to do something great and empowering for you that moves you in the direction of the next level of your limitless potential. That's freedom. Absolutely. And I love that you resonated with that, Brittany. And Lucima and Jolene and Paul and Amber and Thomas and Gretel. Awesome to see you guys. And Andrew and Rich. Daily disciplines lead to freedom and success. Love it. Absolutely. So guys, I am so hoping that today's message has absolutely resonated with you guys. It's got you thinking in terms of knowing that you are never going to find true freedom and fulfillment if you opt for the path of least resistance in your external world. And ultimately, your true freedom and fulfillment is always opting for the path of least resistance in your internal world. No matter what resistance you get in the external, you will have the strength. The strength will be generated the moment you align fully with the truth of who you are and you move in that direction with courage. So that is my message for you guys today. And Rich, love your inspiration. I just finished my own Facebook Live and stumbled on this awesomeness. Very excited about the group. Awesome, Rich. I love that you are pumping out some Facebook Lives of your own. And thanks so much for joining the group and being here. And guys, on that note, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you on this beautiful Sunday or Monday, wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's absolutely extraordinary. My wish is that this message has been valuable to you guys. It's got you shifting your perspective to a place of empowerment and actually tapping into that inner strength and aligning fully with it. I'm sending you all of my love and I will see you guys tomorrow. Can't wait to see you there.